Power panel is back as we talk about the arrests of two men. The RCMP says non-Canadian citizens. They are arrested because they say the RCMP alleges they were planning a terrorist bombing on a via rail train. They'll be in court tomorrow morning. The power panel is here, but we've got a new guest on it, Jonathan Schanzer, the Vice President of Research with the Washington-based Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, and he's got some insight into what the RCMP alleges is an Iranian Al-Qaeda connection. Jonathan Schanzer, a lot of people are wondering about this. For the first time in Canada, we've got the RCMP saying these people were directed and guided by Al-Qaeda in Iran, but then they said it's not state-sponsored. Not too long ago, Canada booted out Iranian diplomats here from Canada. What can you tell us about an Iranian Al-Qaeda connection and how they operate in Canada or North America?
Sure. Well, I can only draw from the U.S. experience, and this goes back to the 9/11 Commission report, which noted, by the way, that there was a direct connection between the Al-Qaeda muscle that traveled through Iran, that there were financial connections to Iran. The report asked for an explanation from the intelligence community, and the intelligence community never came out with a public statement about it. Well, since then, we've seen multiple Treasury designations here identifying Al-Qaeda financiers who were based in Iran. Recently, Osama bin Laden's son-in-law was arrested in Turkey after having spent 10 years inside Iran. So there are multiple links, and every time this issue comes up, somehow the community here sort of poo-poos it. They sort of sweep it under the rug. My hope is that this thwarted attack can really generate a genuine discussion in Washington about these long-standing ties between Iran and Al-Qaeda.
But how does it work? Are they, if they're not state-sponsored, just how would they be operating maybe here in Canada? And is it basically, if it's not state-sponsored, and I'm trying to figure that out, does it mean it's sort of funneled through Hezbollah?
Well, it's not entirely clear based on this case today, but I think the idea that we should say that it's state-sponsored or not state-sponsored is sort of splitting hairs. I mean, if you're getting direction from Al-Qaeda and they're based in Iran, they're operating with the full knowledge of the Iranian government, I think the main question is whether Iran and Al-Qaeda are openly cooperating and coordinating. That to us obviously is still unknown, but I think the fact that that relationship exists in the first place is what really we should all be focusing on right now.
Can you shed light on Canada's or Iran's involvement here in Canada on that aspect? Because obviously Canadian-Iranian relationships are very strained.
Yeah, obviously they're very strained. I mean, the first thing that came to mind, and I should note that I have no direct knowledge of Al-Qaeda or Iranian operatives operating on Canadian soil, but the first thing that came to mind when I read about this plot today was, of course, that Canada has had this antagonistic relationship with Iran, that you've booted Iranian diplomats from Canadian soil. Canada's been very outspoken about the Iranian nuclear program, and now all of a sudden you find out that there are Al-Qaeda operatives under the direction of Iran.